been a while, but I wanted to talk about this video just very quickly. Today is the 25th of July 2020 and it's 52 minutes past 12 in the morning over here in the UK. And I just wanted to quickly talk about the apple, which I believe represents an island as well as many other things, with the volcano on the side erupting and the lava coming out, and how I believe this connects to various volcanoes. But in this video I'm just going to talk about Hawaii. We're next to Obama's foot here, so it gives us that connection. Kilauea erupted in 2018 and is an active volcano, so there wouldn't be too much to expect it to erupt, but it's the way in which it erupts is what we're looking out for. There's a connection here when the apple splits open, which goes down the line sort of next to the volcano, suggesting that the eruption causes some sort of landslide, and Kilauea is one of those volcanoes that could potentially do that. Obviously a lot of land mass going into the ocean would generate waves, and those waves could be significant enough to be classed as a tsunami, which is what I believe we see here. Even though the streak on the ground here in the shape of a C is white, I believe that it still represents a tsunami, though water is generally represented by the color blue. If you look closely at the front of the wave here, when it's upside down, you can see that this would potentially be the crest of the wave. Again, maybe that's why they've put it in the shape of a C, to give us that reference to crest. And obviously the letter C is a reference to the word sea, and obviously that could be exactly what they're trying to show us here. Now, in the real world, interpretations aside, there are some events that could be connecting with that interpretation. As I said, in 2018 Kilauea erupted, and for the last couple of years there's been a steady pool of water gathering in the crater of the volcano. Now, this report goes into a more scientific look at that situation and of why the water could potentially be pooling in that crater. But the more interesting thing for me is what could potentially happen if the water was to engage with the magma. So there are two scenarios that could lead to an explosive eruption, it says here. In one case, magma could rise quickly up the conduit and intersect with the lake, said Swanson. In the second, the crater floor could collapse and drop all of the water down to a zone where it would be quickly heated into steam. Now, that's the scenario that I am looking at and have been looking at for the last couple of years. The size of the pool, although in the image looks rather small, is actually the size of several football fields put together. It says here, today the lake, now with a rusty brown sheen on its surface due to chemical reactions taking place in the water, has an area larger than 5 football fields. Now, that's already a significant amount of water sitting in a crater in the middle of a volcano, where if, however wide the gap between the water and magma was to collapse, it could cause a pretty catastrophic eruption, something we term as a hydrothermal eruption, which is obviously more explosive than an average eruption due to that interaction between two and the water transferring to steam, which obviously in a contained space could definitely cause a much larger eruption, something that could push out the flanks of a volcano, causing it to collapse, or at least partially collapse. So when I see the reports and I look at the weather map of a hurricane, this one called Douglas, heading towards Hawaii, it causes me to raise awareness about the potential situation. Douglas will be around Hawaii 26th, 27th of this month, The 27th obviously is a particular day or particular number that I've been looking at from the iPad Go 2 video. So when I see something like this occurring around that potential number reference or date reference, it piques my interest. Now, obviously, with hurricanes, there is a lot of water involved, a lot of precipitation. And if we have a look at the precipitation around the area, the water will be impacting Hawaii for a number of days before the actual hurricane arrives. So there's plenty of potential for the water that is already contained within the crater of the volcano to become so heavy that the crater floor separating the water and the magma collapses, which would obviously dump a large amount of water, at that point most likely larger than 5 football fields, into the actual volcano itself, generating a scenario which could be linked to what we see in the iPad Go 2 video. Obviously in not such an obvious way, but still it's there. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. There was a lot of other interpretations that started coming at me while I was thinking about this particular scenario, but I don't want to cloud the issue. I just want to focus on that. Hurricane Douglas, the potential for too much water to be dropped into the crater of this volcano, causing the crater floor to collapse, interact with the magma beneath, and cause a hydrothermal eruption, which could collapse the flanks of the volcano and generate a tsunami in the local area. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but there is the interpretation. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and may the Heavenly Father bless you.